here's where it goes in. So it just takes all that air in, it swirls it around in there, and dispenses it out. And what that does is it uses the natural like fats within the food, your meat you're cooking, or potatoes or if, you know, I've cooked all sorts of things in here. I've cooked fish, I've actually cooked potatoes in here, and they do really well. And it's just such a great appliance to have. And actually, I was lucky to get this on sale when we got this. Normally these are $120, but I got this one for $50 because they were on sale for really cheap. So I guess we'll get started. If anybody wants to help me, they can. But you don't have to. But so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna plug this in just to see what it looks like. So it sort of displays this thing. You press this button here, and then we'll do that once we get the food prepared. So I've got a few things. This is grouper. This is a type of fish that I got this in a visit to Galveston. This was at a market, and they had caught this locally, and so it's a very local fish that you can't really find. It's not, and the nice thing about this is that it's so fresh. I didn't even get this 48 hours ago. This was so it's never been frozen. It's just been refrigerated. I have this. It's sort of a fish fry mix. It's sort of a lemony type fish fry mix. Cooking spray, so that you don't have to use cooking spray, but it just simplifies the cleaning process later. And a bag. So what we're gonna do, since I've washed my hands, I'm gonna use a wet hand and a dry hand. My hand's gonna be the wet hand. You'll probably be wet. So I'm gonna open this, untie this knot. Actually, I'll just do that. And then use this hand to open the bag. It's already open. And I'm just going to put this in here. And with my dry hand, and actually, William, can you help me with this? Yeah. Yeah. I can't open it with one hand. So you just open that, and I just want you to put some in there. It's okay if there's a little too much because I have another one here. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna.
Look how much you want.
Well, we just need enough to where if you pour it in the bag and we shake it will cover it. It will cover it evenly. So like, I'll tell you when to stop. More than that. More. And we can stop there just for now. All right. So I'm going to close this. And then I'm going to shake it, just like that. Turn it over, get it coated really evenly. And you can see that it's starting to turn the color of and as you can see, it's starting to turn this yellow color. You can see how it's got it all over. And I think that's covered. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to turn this around so I can use it. Open this. And as you can see inside the fryer, it's got a basket. And it's got the lower part, that not basket. We're going to be using the basket for this since we want, maximum sort of airflow around it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spray the bottom. And this is why I use the spray because it simplifies the cleaning process later. It doesn't stick as well if I use this. Now, with this one hand, I'm going to take it out. You can smell the lemon. I'm just going to lay it in here. Make sure it's nice and even, not really looped over each other. And then I'm gonna put it in. And it detects that when you put it in, and it will detect when you put it in. So like if it did that beeping noise because it knows it's in. So I'm gonna go to the temperature setting. Now for this, you typically, it doesn't do it by 5s, it does it by 10s. So typically what you would do is you would fry it at about 375, but I'm gonna do it at 380 because that's about the temperature that I have best luck with. And this is a larger fillet, so I'm going to, usually for a smaller fillet, like one that's, smaller, I would do, it doesn't even take 10 minutes. But this, I'm going to say 16. And of course, as this goes, we can always, and one thing that this thing allows you to do that's so convenient is that if you think, you can also, you can check on it, or you can even flip it with a spatula so that you can get maximum coverage so the airflow can flow, all around it without having any, wet spots or anything like that. So now, what I'm gonna do is once I have that set, press this button, it'll start going. Now what it's going to do is it's going to start taking air in through here. You can actually feel it starting to go in through. And it's going to heat it up so fast that it really just takes like a minute to heat to the full amount of degrees. And it will show you this timer here. Now what's else is cool is that if you, is that as it goes on, as it sort of goes on through the cooking process, you'll start to hear it, increase the fan speed. So like eventually you'll start to hear it become a little louder, a little higher pitched sound. And actually what I can do, and this is an interesting feature I found. If at the very end of when you're cooking it, it does this automatically, but if you need to like make it extra crispy, at the sort of toward the end of when you're cooking it, sort of the end part of this thing, you can press this button, and you can hear it start to increase the speed. And what that does is it just sort of keeps it at the same time and just lets it crisp a little bit as it goes. But for now, I'm just gonna let that go. And
how do you determine the temperature and how long to cook it?
Well, what you need to do is, the inside of the fish needs to be when you start out with a fish like this, right? So if you look at this, it's not white, it's this sort of clearish color. But when it's done, all the way through, it's gonna be it's not gonna be clear, it's gonna be bright white, and that's the way you determine it's done. But if you're looking for like a temperature range, you need the inside. The inside of the fish has to be something like 145 degrees or higher. At least 145 degrees.
So how long do we have to cook it in the air fryer?
So the air fryer, the thing is, the air fryer will, in the air fryer, you not only take into account for how long it cooks, like for internal temperature, because fish cooks pretty fast, but you also have to take into account for how crispy you want the outside to be. So even if it's done all the way, sometimes you do want it to go a little longer because you want it crispy, or if you want it extra crispy. Sometimes you might, and then sometime in the midway through, you might want to flip. You could flip it and then make it crispy on one side, the other side. But how do you determine it? It's a good question.
Is there a chart that you can find online?
There are charts. Yes, there are charts. And usually there'll be somewhere along the lines of a certain amount of inches thick, cook for a certain amount of time. This is a larger fillet, so that's why I gave it so much time to cook.
How much time did you give it?
I gave it 16 minutes.
Okay. Do we have any
1 minute to
questions?
preheat and 15 minutes to cook. Any questions?
No.
No?
No, sir.
What?
No, sir.
Give you a sec? What?
I said, no, sir.
No, sir? Okay. I wasn't quite sure what you said. All right.
I'm looking forward to the final product coming
Yeah.
out, and
And I will allow, if you don't have any sort of objections to fish at all, I will allow you to try it.
so why do you think this type of cooking is good for your generation?
Well, it's convenient for one thing. If you're trying to make something crispy, you used to have to like fry it, right? And that's so inconvenient to do. It's messy, not as healthy. You're using a bunch of oil. You have to use appliances that, or just if you don't want to use an appliance like this, you basically just have to use a pot. And then you also have to measure the temperature. It's really complicated if you wanted to do it at home. But this makes it quite easy. It's convenient. It's just all in this one little appliance. You just, and you can even do it without any oil. I've done it without any oil. It will stick a little more if you do it that way, but it does work. It does work just as well. And it tastes great. The other thing is that this is not just good for like meats like I'm doing now. You can do it with potatoes. You can do it with anything you want to make crispy, really. So this can sort of multi-purpose.
I hear the temperature. I hear it going faster now.
Yeah, that's because it's gone far enough into the cooking process to where it's trying to crisp it, And so it'll alternate between going fast and slow as it goes on. So it'll start going slower now as it started in a minute. So, and then it'll start going fast again. It sort of alternates as it gets later on.
Okay, we're going to stop the video here, and then we'll come back
All right.
right there at the end.
Yep.